so that's good. Doesn't concern me.
It is.
Can we have the link of what you share now? You mean the...
I have it, I will send it.
Yeah. So you can, put YouTube, put loving kindness, put the email, and that's it, or just, yeah. So what I really like in Buddhism is that we don't have to make any choices, right? It's not like the good people, they deserve our love and concern and loving kindness. The so-called bad people, they should go and, look after themselves or even rot in hell or something like that. It's like, there's none of this. It's like all beings. And this is, I don't know if you read the words, and she really goes, the sutra, when she sings it, she really goes through to everybody, like east, west, south, north, the young ones, the old ones, the born, the not born, the people ordained, the people not ordained, the rich, the relatives, the poor, So it's to make sure that everybody is covered and everybody is there. So this is why I think it's, life becomes complicated if we make choices, like these ones yes and these ones no. So it becomes much easier when we say, okay, I'll do my best with everybody. And by the way, so I just read when I opened the website to put on the link that there will be in Farmonash, there will be a weekend or maybe just a Saturday. Could you please send the link? So Inbal is going to do it, I think, yeah. Also it's like loving kindness on, you put loving kindness, you go into YouTube, you will find it. It's like, it's not so complicated. Of the text and the music. Well, the text and the music is, the music is playing and the text shows. So that's there's also a loving kindness sutra, which is quite short. I think I have it somewhere, so maybe I find it and we can read it maybe at the end. So what I saw is that the Dharma Friends are offering a Shabbat Dharma, I think. Is it just one day or is it a weekend? One day in Farmonash, where you can go personally, which makes a big difference, really. I don't have anything against the Zoom. I think the Zoom is a good thing so that we can still have these events, but still being there personally makes a big difference. But the problem is, we become kind of lazy, or I also. And I was participating in a retreat, which was quite long, like very long sessions, a Tara retreat. And we were living nearby. So I thought, for the evening session, because Rinpoche is not there, it's just Vincent leading it. So maybe I stay home and watch it on the Zoom. I could also feel that I have developed this attitude over this 1.5 years. Then by recognizing it, I thought, no. You are going, because also many other people have this thought. So poor Vincent was like left with 2 people in the evening out of 30 to do the same practice that Rinpoche was leading. So it's not such a good attitude. So I was happy that I went, even though it was more, more strenuous or painful or whatever. So the 4 immeasurables, this is to develop a good heart. And the 4 immeasurables are the immune system for our mind, really, because they counteract actions done out of anger, out of jealousy, out of like cruelty, and what's the other one? So like anger is, like loving kindness is counteracting anger. Compassion, which is the second one, is counteracting cruelty, and joy, or it's just called joy, is counteracting jealousy, and equanimity, which actually is the basis for this all, and it's the most difficult to develop, is counteracting indifference. There is everything is impermanent and everything is karma and everything is empty. I mean, who cares? Yeah, so we have to be careful that that we're not falling into one of these extremes. And they're very simple practices. It's just you feed the mind with these informations. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be separated from a state which is free from all suffering. May all beings live in equanimity, free of attachment and anger that holds some too close and others that we don't even want to see. Right, so actually, yeah, equanimity counteracts attachment and anger, but the near enemy of it is indifference, right? So there's something that looks like it, but it is not, and it's called the near enemy. So with love, it's attachment, you know, this attached love. We would give our life for somebody, but it's only for that particular person. And especially it's only for that particular person when they do what we want them to do. When they stop doing what we want them to do, I mean, this goes out of the window, and we've all experienced that. If you are the one who is loving out of attachment and the other person is not the way you want them to be anymore and you throw them out, doesn't feel so bad, feels just, feels right. He's not what I bought, right? Like giving back an article that we bought somewhere because we thought it would give me this and this and that, but then we don't like it anymore, and tschüss, as they say in Germany, and that's it, yeah? So if you're the one doing that, it feels, yeah, you know. I'm not saying you should not end your relationships when they are not healthy. I'm not saying that. So again, please, you know, kind of be considerate. So what I'm saying is that, again, how we end a relationship is like the attitude of our mind, yeah? Are we doing it just for us, or are we also thinking about the others? And, you know, relationships are incredibly complicated. You might have noticed it. And everybody thinks that my relationship should be easy and just full of love and all this. And everybody thinks that this is going to be at the beginning. This is why we try again and again and again and again. From my side, I tell you, it's much easier to live alone. So, because I hear all the stories that happen, you know, in relationships. So in case you can't find a partner and you feel very sad about this, then also it's not the end of the world. It can be much easier. And just having a partner doesn't mean that you're happy ever after. How can we practice that with our teenage children? Well, first they need to want to know to practice this. Or you mean non-attachment? Or I don't really understand what the question is all about. You want your children to practice the four immeasurables. First, we practice it. You know, when it comes down to children, non-attachment, yeah, of course, you know, you need some attachment to your children because otherwise they feel totally insecure. If you have the same open heart to all children, then your own children will start to question, well, what's happening with my mother, that the neighbor's kid becomes more important than I. So the kids need a secure attachment. So that's okay. I'm not talking about children here. Yeah. So again, please don't jump to extremes. Be reasonable, realistic. Like a Buddha has absolutely no attachment for anybody, has love and an open heart for all beings. What we're trying to practice and what we're trying to do is that the neighbor's kid's happiness is just as important as my kid's happiness, but it's not my job for the moment to produce it. Is that more or less clear what I'm saying here? Yeah. So this is why, you know, for me, I don't have children. I don't have a partner. So all the kids have the same importance. Easy. But when you have partners and you have children, then of course it's not so easy. But also try to see, you know, like with attached love that we have to our children, there's a lot of expectations that comes with it. Maybe not when they're small, but when you are getting older and they become grown-ups also, you know, then because we give so much, isn't it? I mean, you give joyfully as a parent, and you think you're giving without attachment, I think, yeah, or you think. But then when nothing comes back and they're not coming for a Friday dinner, or, you know, they don't want to know about you anymore and they have other priorities, don't tell me you don't feel hurt, right? If it would be a neighbor's kid, you wouldn't feel so hurt. Yeah. So this is, you know, attachment. When you have attached love, it can get hurt. You can get hurt very, very quickly. So it's good to see, you know, the way I love my children. I just want them to be happy, and I don't want them to suffer. And I just found something on my telephone, because some of you know it. You know, I left the center in Bern, and I had like tons of notes on paper, but I don't have my own space. So then I reduced, and then I was brave enough to throw away all my paper notes, which I still don't know if it was a good idea, because of course I have it on the tablet, I have it on the telephone, in the Dropbox. So now I was quickly, you know, opening the telephone and finding what it says in my notes of the 4 Immeasurables about love. So I found it. Thank you, telephone. So I'll read it to you. So what love in Buddhism, you know what it means. So the definition of love in Buddhism is wanting others to be happy. You don't have to do anything about it. It's an attitude, okay? Compassion, then you get more involved. But with this, first we develop the attitude, and then the action will follow naturally if we can act. This love is unconditional, and now what did I do? This is the thing of the telephone. I lost it. Oh my gosh. Just a sec. You know, this doesn't happen with the paper. With paper you can touch, it stays the same. With the telephone, it's like, okay, this love is unconditional, and it requires a lot of courage and acceptance, including self-acceptance. If you cannot love yourself the way you are, with all your, whatever you do, mistakes and all this, difficult to love others. The near enemy of love, or a quality which appears similar but is more an opposite, is conditional love, like selfish love or love out of attachment. The opposite is wanting others to be unhappy, like when you act out of anger. So a result one needs to avoid is attachment. But again, you know, we're not talking about your children, okay? Because it's needed there. Otherwise, it's not working. And anyway, it's not possible. Yeah, it's not possible not to be attached to your own children, because as long as you have an I or a me, then it's my children, you know, and then they become more important. So the definition means that love in Buddhism refers to something quite different from the ordinary term of love, which is usually about attachment, more or less successful relationships and sex, all of which are rarely without self-interest. Instead, in Buddhism, it refers to detachment and the unselfish interest in others' welfare. Yeah, just to be happy when you see somebody is happy, that is love. When you see them suffering and you think they should be free from suffering, that's compassion. Doesn't feel the same. Oh, here's the link. Thank you, Imba. It doesn't feel the same, okay? Compassion and love does not feel the same. Compassion hurts. Compassion stirs something in you, mirror neurons. You know how this feels to be in that place, and you want to help. But you're not the other person also. You know, don't go too far. I think in the University of Lausanne, they made this study about empathy and compassion. And they said, like, when something lights up in the brain is when somebody talks to you about their problems and you start to understand what it means, and you are able to communicate that you're understanding, then that is empathy. And they said, you feel a bit like being in the shoes of the other person, but then in the end, they're not your shoes, so you give them back. I thought that was a really good example, because sometimes, you know, when we hear about the suffering of somebody else, because of the neural mirrors, the mirror neurons, sorry, then then we get reminded of our own suffering, and all of a sudden we get stuck in our own story, you know, and this is we do again and again and again and again. Somebody tells us about their suffering, and then we come with our own story. We can almost not prevent it. Now, if you are the one, you know, somebody asks you, how are you? And you start to tell your problems, and then all of a sudden they come in with their own stuff. How do you feel? Do you feel understood? You know, we might tell them our bigger problems that they have in order for them to feel better, but it doesn't feel nice when this happens. But just observe. We do this again and again and again. So then again, with awareness, you feel the wish to say, oh, you know, when I did this and this and this, then you feel the wish to say it, or the temptation, and you go, no, I'll just continue to listen. Because when it comes down to compassion, listening attentively to the other person, that itself is an act of healing. We always want to do something, yeah? But I tell you, just listen to somebody who is suffering is so healing for the other person, because they feel loved, understood, seen, and then their heart also opens, like when we did in the first meditation. So I got another definition here. Loving kindness. Loving kindness is the first of these four immeasurable thoughts, is the wish that all sentient beings, without any exception, be happy. So even you have your own children, you can still have a wish for everybody to be happy. Or you think that's exclusive? What do you think? Yes, no, you have signs, you know. You can go, oh no, you can only go like this. Okay. So okay. So there's room for all, exactly. And because our heart is limitless, we have so much space. Yeah. And it's so soothing. Don't take the responsibility for the moment that you're not responsible for other people's happiness, okay? Because otherwise it gets overwhelming, the whole thing. And what's happening now? Oh, me and technology, I tell you. Okay, so, but just a wish, just open up your heart. And this is what we do in the next meditation. We train that. And then you have to do this again and again and again and again and again and again and again until it comes spontaneously. There is, unfortunately, no other way. There is no loving kindness pill. I mean, there is, you know, there's dope, there is marijuana, there is things like that where you spontaneously open. That's true, but that's not what we want. You know, we don't want to be under the influence of these drugs all the time. Right? So loving kindness counters ill will. The attitude of loving kindness is like the feeling which a mother has for her newborn son. She wishes that he may enjoy good health, have good friends, be intelligent and successful in all that he attempts. In short, she wishes sincerely that he be happy. One may have the same attitude of loving kindness for a particular friend or for others in one's class, community, or nation. In all these cases, one wishes that the person or persons concerned enjoy happiness. So you don't need to do anything. Yeah, if you can do something, it's fine. You know, just give them a smile and listen to them. Now the camera again went. Sorry, starts again. This whole story here. Yep. No. Anyway, so we do the meditation, so then you don't need to see me. But it's getting a bit on my nerves here. So I have to create equanimity. And what if I take it off? No, that doesn't work either. Yeah. So we just leave Chenrezig, that's fine, I think. And again, for the metta, it's called metta meditation, reflection, just make yourself comfortable. relax. And know that we are practicing the antidote to anger and attached love. What if I... It goes when I start talking. Now it's that one. So, okay, I leave it and then I'll shut down again in the break. So again, first connect to your breath, to your body, and also some kind of gratitude towards the body that it is working. I can have some gratitude towards the computer, but it's just the camera who's going crazy and not the whole computer. Maybe in the afternoon I'll use the tablet. Try to generate a friendly feeling towards yourself. That you give yourself the permission to be happy and just notice what happens then. Okay, maybe I leave it. So in our culture, people find it difficult to direct loving kindness to themselves. We may feel that we are unworthy, or even that it is an egoistic thought. Or we think, oh, there's so many people are suffering, how can I be happy? But it doesn't make them happier when you are suffering as well. I mean, this is just, again, our distorted view of how we should be. And then also, we really have to define what does it mean to be happy? You go around and tell everybody how wonderful you are and how life is wonderful and all this. No, it's an open, relaxed state of mind, stable. Nothing can shake you. You don't need the appreciation from others. You can rest in that spaciousness and in that goodness that is your nature. Being normal is happy. Not being depressed, anxious, nervous, all this. That is being happy. Absence of depression, nervousness, self-concern, always checking, what do other people think of me and all that. That is happiness. Being in contact with your spaciousness and your goodness. So this is a meditation by Cornfield. I will add a few things, but then, but the main thing is from him. So then rather to start with yourself, as the Buddhists do, because they have this self-confidence that their potential is goodness and spaciousness. So we can start loving kindness practice with somebody else. With somebody that we most naturally love and care about. And so this is why, whatever you hear today, don't make it so stiff as if it is black and white. There are so many methods in Buddhism. And of course, you try out, and then you take what works best and what is easiest at the beginning. So again, you're your own judge. And you use your own natural intelligence, what is being said, always remembering Buddhism is not a dogma. There is nothing in conventional reality that is either absolutely true or absolutely wrong. Conventionally, yes, suffering is suffering and happiness is happiness. But ultimately, both of them are of the same nature, impermanent, needing causes, and subject to change, and they're empty of inherent existence. So we need to learn how to think, to use this natural intelligence. So sense yourself seated here in this mystery of human life. Such a nice thing. The mystery of human life. We don't need to understand everything. We can take a mystery as it is, a mystery. We can relax. We're not awakened, we're not enlightened. So we shouldn't behave like as if we were. And then he continues to say, take your seat halfway between heaven and earth, as the Buddha did. Meaning, the Buddhas are in samsara, trying to help us. But they're also in nirvana, totally liberated from being under the control of unhelpful, painful emotions. The middle way. Not getting involved in samsaric matters, but also not totally being attached to personal peace. Then bring a kind attention to yourself, as we already did quite a bit this morning. Feel your body seated and your breath breathing naturally. Try to feel at ease. Nothing to prove, nothing to attain right now. Of course, maybe later, but now, no. Just be. It's so easy, so relaxing. Then think of someone you care about and love a lot. Somebody that sees you, understands and accepts you the way you are, as we did in the morning meditation. And notice the feelings in your body, the sensations, the experiences. Then let natural phrases of good wishes for them come into your mind and heart. Some of the traditional ones are, may you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you be truly happy. Or you can use your own words. And don't manipulate anything in your heart. Something happens, something happens. If nothing happens, nothing happens. Both is okay. And just repeat these phrases, whatever seems appropriate to you. You know, try to, the same way as we did before, like when we said, how is the state of your mind? You put a landscape, a name, a color. When you think about them, you experience something. So express the wishes that this experience kind of brings up naturally for them. Then picture a second person you care about and express the same good wishes and intentions towards them. So you have two people sitting there now. Then imagine that these two people whom you love are offering you their loving kindness. Picture how they look at you with concern and love as they say, may you too be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you be truly happy. We can feel that when somebody wishes us to be happy, when somebody's happy, when we are happy. And well, maybe happy is not the right word. When we are well. It has an effect on us when somebody wishes us well-being sincerely. So since it has an effect on us, it will also have an effect on others. So just take in their good wishes. And again, be very aware of what it does to you. Don't manipulate anything. Don't will or force anything. Just observe very attentively. Now turn their good wishes towards yourself by coming from you now. Sometimes people place their hand on their heart or their body as they repeat the phrases. We all know that gesture. We do this very spontaneously. Somebody tells us they're sad, frightened. We reach out and touch them. Because again, touch has a tremendous effect. when it comes sincerely and out of affection. So if you want to use your hand now to touch your body, by all means, please do. But with the same attitude as you would reach out to somebody else. And you repeat these phrases. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy, strong, free from fear, and loving. May I be able to live my life with joy and ease. May I be at ease in all situations. May I be protected from physical and mental harm. May I be safe. And not just the harm that comes from others, but also the harm that I inflict upon myself by not believing in my innate goodness. May I be strong, healthy, free from fear, and loving. May I be able to live my life with joy and ease. Then with the same care, open your eyes. If there's other people in the room, you look around the room, or in my case, I look at the screen. You put in the gallery view and you offer your loving kindness to everyone that you see. And just feel how great it is to spread the field of loving kindness. And think of yourself as a beacon, spreading the light of loving kindness like a lighthouse around your city. If you want, you can close your eyes again. You become like the sun, spreading that goodness, that loving kindness in all the directions. Spreads around your country, around the world, and even to distant planets. Then you think, may all beings far and near, all beings young and old, beings in every direction, be held in great loving kindness. May they be safe and protected. May they be healthy and strong, loving and peaceful. And may all these beings in all directions, young or old, born or not born, rich or poor, may they be able to live their lives with joy and ease. So then Jack Cornfield kind of added a small note at the bottom and said, the Buddha said that the awakened heart of loving kindness and freedom is our birthright as human beings. And he said, if these things were not possible, I would not teach them. But because they are possible for you, I offer these teachings of the Dharma of awakening. I have a big smile on my face, but you can't see it. I'll try again. But I think this afternoon I will do, with the tablet. And then I'll have to find my notes on the computer. I tell you, paper is easier. This is what me, old generation, is saying. But anyway, maybe I get used to it. Okay, my dears, are you all fine? Are you all okay? More or less? If not, I'm sorry if I was the cause for you not feeling well. But I also don't take responsibility. So we have 1 hour break now, isn't it? And so if you eat, then, you know, if you eat, it's good to offer the food. And food becomes much more delicious when you think who was involved in bringing this food onto your plate, that we constantly forget. And then, you know, most important thing, if you do eat, please enjoy. Because otherwise, how would you feel? You know, you put a lot of effort into bringing this food about, not just the people who cooked it, but the people who grow it, the people who transport it with like a lot of care, making sure it's not too hot and not too cold and all this, store it, put it in the shelves in the supermarkets. They do this with a lot of care. I mean, how would you feel when people don't appreciate your work? So please enjoy your food and say thank you to Mother Earth, especially also. Without her, you know, that's it, no more food. So don't forget that. If you don't eat because you fast, which me also, I decided to fast. I did drink in the morning though, but I decided not to drink during the day until the evening, because I always feel it's good for the mind. So I tell you, I can only recommend it, you know. So if you don't eat, then just rejoice with those who are eating, and I don't know, think about your kilos. In my case, that maybe you're not putting on more, and whatever else strategy you can feel that would help you to be able to bear this happily. You know, when we do things like that, it should make you happy. You shouldn't feel like the victim. Oh, they forced me not to eat. Okay? So whatever you do, be joyful and at ease. And I'll see you in about an hour. Okay? Great. Bye.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. And have a nice break and see you in 1 hour.